Hi everybody and welcome back to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole and it's by user ICResident6341. Am I the a-hole for moving out without saying anything? I, 23 female, currently live with my parents. I have been dating my boyfriend, 24 male, for almost a year now, and we have known each other for many years. Recently, him and I started talking about the future and when we would like to move in together. Originally, we were talking about waiting another year so I can finish college. However, after my mom caught wind of him and I having these conversations, she lost her mind. She told me that I shouldn't even be thinking about a future with my boyfriend at this point in my life, that him and I needed to back off of our relationship. Then she went as far as telling me that I am not allowed to see him more than once a week for a couple of hours and that he will no longer be allowed over at the house anymore and it's her house, so I'll respect that. My mom is very controlling and manipulative, and I have spent most of my life doing whatever she wanted to make my life easier. However, I'm ready to move out and my mom would physically stop me if I tried to leave. But her and my dad are going to some convention this weekend and my boyfriend and I plan on moving me out while they are gone. So, am I the a-hole for packing up my crap and leaving without saying anything? No, OP, of course you're not the a-hole. You're an adult. You don't need permission to plan your future. Your mom's demands to limit your relationship and block your boyfriend from the house isn't about guidance. It's just about her being able to control you. You've spent years trying to cater to your mom's whims just to not rock the boat at the cost of your own independence, and you should stop that. You're not leaving just to be reckless. You want to live your life, and if she's willing to physically stop you, then leaving without her knowing isn't only justified, it's a thing you need to do. You don't owe her any kind of speech, you owe yourself a life. So OP, pack your essentials, documents, banking access, and anything she could use to control you later. Move while it's safe. Let her process it however she wants, but from a distance. You've tolerated her guilt trips long enough, OP. Now it's time for you to live your life. And what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments section, and now let's check out the community comments. Inevitable Speed 710 says, not the a-hole. Cut the cord and go live your best life. Be prepared though that if she would physically stop you, that she might step up the manipulative and abusive behavior. Apprehensive Book 4214 says, not the a-hole. You're protecting yourself. Make a list of what you need to do. Top priorities. Get your important documents. Take pictures and save to a cloud service for digital copies too. Remember, once you're 18, no one can have your legal documents without your permission, so don't feel bad about taking them. Make sure she has no access to your bank account. If she uses the same bank, ask them if you can add anything, like a password or two-factor authorization for extra security. When you're settled, consider moving to another bank, especially if she's ever been authorized on your account. For work and school, talk to administration office, your boss or HR. Ask them to confirm they won't discuss anything about you with anyone else. Might want to tell them you're dealing with a family situation and are concerned the family involved might make false claims trying to get information about you. Take sentimental items. Take anything you've bought. Start packing what you can, and if asked, tell your mom you're just doing some cleaning or sorting. If possible, take smaller things over in small loads. If you end up needing to do this over a couple of days, do not stay at your parents' home overnight. Stay with your boyfriend. If they return early, you don't want to be in their home. If you still need to get some of your belongings, request a police escort to do so. You don't want them trying to claim you broke in or stole things that aren't yours. If she shows up while you're moving, unlikely it sounds like, but plan for the worst. Be upfront. Tell her you're moving, and if she tries to stop you, you're calling the police. You might want to hire movers to help you get out quicker. Once you're out, consider whether she might call the police and file a false missing persons report or request a welfare check. If so, get ahead of this. Call the police non-emergency line and tell them about the situation. Often, they'll have a way to check in with you to make sure you're okay in this type of situation. Put your parents on an information diet or go low to no contact if needed. It's not an all-inclusive list, just what I think are the top priorities. Hopefully it helps you decide what your top priorities are. Having a list should help reduce the chance of forgetting something important. Good luck. Go live your life. And Old and Slow 62 says, Dad advice here. No, you're not the a-hole. When my parents started to tell me how I needed to live my life, I packed my crap and left too. And here is the flip side to this. I was fully independent from my parents and supported myself from day one. Be prepared to do the same. School funds being cut off, the possibility of having to drop out of school to work full-time to now support yourself. No more healthcare insurance either. Like I tell my own kids, you're old enough to make your own decisions and you're old enough to live with the consequences. Be prepared. And Opie responds, I am already working full-time. I pay for my own car and have my own health insurance. I don't have to pay anything for my college due to the GI Bill, and I have my own health insurance. Also, my mom will definitely freak out when I'm out, and I expect her to manipulate the rest of my family, but it's on them if they believe her because they know what she is like. Well, the community agrees that OP would not be the a-hole and that she has to start living her life. And it sounds like OP's got everything ready to do so good for her. Now, we do have 2 updates, so let's move on with the first one to see what happened next. So, my boyfriend and I have officially decided to go through with getting me out of my parents' house. I have had my job saving boxes for me for the week and I've been storing them at his house. My parents leave tomorrow morning, and tomorrow night after work and my sister goes to bed, my boyfriend and I will start packing everything up. My sister is a heavy sleeper. I'm going to pack boxes in my room and my boyfriend is going to take them to our apartment in his truck while I stay behind. Also, just for context, I am on their phone plan, but my boyfriend and I have decided that if they take me off, he'll add me to his plan. My boyfriend and I are on a car insurance policy together and I have my own vehicle and my own health insurance. I have already filled out the paperwork for my bank accounts to be changed. And I don't have to pay for college because my dad is a vet, so it's all paid for by the VA. And on this topic, my dad would never revoke my GI Bill access. He'd be disappointed that I left, but it's not his reaction that I'm worried about. My mom is a loose cannon. But I've already given a description of her car and shown her picture to the people I work with, and I've asked my boyfriend's family not to answer the door if my parents come to their house, and if it becomes a problem, they need to trespass her. Anyway, none of my family has a clue that my boyfriend and I signed and paid for a lease on a really nice apartment about 20 minutes away from my parents. Both mine and my boyfriend's therapists are telling both of us it's in my best interest to leave if I want to be able to grow as a person. My friends say that my mom is controlling and I'm 23 and I need to get on with my life. Truthfully, while I agree with all of this, I feel guilty. I don't plan on cutting off all contact and everything is signed and paid for, so there's no going back now. Am I irrational for feeling guilty about all of this? Or am I a jerk for leaving without saying anything? I mean, I'm fully aware of how my actions are going to affect those around me, and I'm fully prepared to face whatever is coming my way. But I'm ready. I need to get out. I'm not allowed to be independent even though I want to be. I, as a 23-year-old woman, am ready to have my own life and I'm taking the steps to take back the control from my abuser. I've been faced with the choice of continuing to be a victim of a narcissist or grow up and do what it takes to save myself. OP, you're absolutely right. It comes down to a choice for you and I think you're making the right one. Now, I understand those feelings of guilt because you've been conditioned for 23 years to feel guilty at your mom's command. That's gonna take a little bit to wear off, but you're on the right way. Anyways, we do have a final update, so let's move on with that to see how this story ends. My boyfriend and I have officially moved in together. My mom is extremely angry. She called me and yelled at me for 30 minutes and told me that I was alone and that I had no one to turn to. Except for your boyfriend and I'm guessing his family. He definitely has you back. She told me that everything is always about me and that she would be calling my therapist because clearly I must have lied if my therapist was telling me to leave her, and said they're repossessing my truck even though I am paying for it because it's in my dad's name. They say me having it is a liability for them. My mom called me yesterday telling me she was worried that I may be living with a sociopath. She said she spoke to my therapist and she told her that she didn't tell me to leave, My mom then called me and asked me if her and my dad could come pick me up and talk to me. They claimed that my boyfriend has manipulated me into cutting off my family when he has actually done the exact opposite. Through this process, my boyfriend has actually been encouraging me to reach out and even said that my family was welcome to come over. He even said that if they wanted him to leave the house when they come see me, then he will do so because he doesn't want to keep me from my parents. My mom has reached out to other family members and spoke to them. I'm not aware what she said to them, but they sent me a message telling me they didn't wish to get involved. My mom has made not one, but 2 Facebook posts telling everyone how I abandoned my sister and left her to die. My sister is 27 years old. She cannot drive due to injuries from an accident in 2021, but she is independent for pretty much everything else. My mom has gone as far as telling everyone my boyfriend is abusing me, which is a lie. She even said in her most recent post that she was going no contact and asked everyone else to do the same because if they didn't, they would be supporting an abuser. So yeah, my mom has already chosen to go no contact with me because I chose to stay with my boyfriend. I hoped for a long time that I could make them proud. Throughout therapy, I came to the realization that I'll never be good enough in some people's eyes, so I stopped living for them and started living for me. I wish it hadn't taken me this long. FYI, this is not me whining and crying about my choices. I am fully aware that these are the consequences of my actions and my choices, and I made my bed and I have to lie in it. I'm not asking for pity. The Reddit users asked for an update, so I'm providing one. OP, don't worry about the trolls and haters. I'm just gonna highlight the most important part of the post for me and where you say that you stopped living for them and started living for yourself. And that puts you ahead of the game. So OP, congratulations again, and here's wishing you and your boyfriend the best in the future. Take care and thanks for sharing. And now, let's move on to the next post that also has an update. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole and it's by user PermitSensitive3669. Husband says I jumped the gun. I, 31 female, married to my husband, 33 male, for 14 years. I sold my wedding ring after finding out he was cheating on me for 10 years and I met with a divorce lawyer. He's angry about me not trying to see if we could reconcile. I apparently jumped the gun after finding out about his infidelity, as well as him shutting down for 2 weeks, blaming me for spying on him and saying I ruined his trust and wouldn't talk to me. When I found out about the cheating, he didn't comfort me, apologize, or ask me to fix things. He didn't beg for forgiveness or ask to work things out. He said he had work in a couple of hours and had to go to bed. So because I sold the ring and met with an attorney, I hurt him, and now he isn't sure about working on things with me because I didn't really see if we were actually over. Did I jump the gun, or would anyone else have assumed their marriage was over after discovering 10 years of cheating followed up by a cold, distant, blaming, stonewalling behavior? No, OP, you're not the a-hole and you know it. Your husband is basically a Darvo meme. He cheated on you for 10 years, but you broke his trust because you went to meet with a divorce attorney and sold your ring when you found out about it. F him, OP. Don't even give him a second of your time. Just move on with divorce and try to get him out of your life as soon as possible. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section, and let's quickly go to the community comments. Shave Sex says, not the a-hole. Cheated on you for 10 years and then blames you for spying on him and ruining his trust in you? That's your answer right there. Blame shifting, gaslighting, whatever you want to call it. People like that never change. Divorce and make sure all contact goes through your divorce attorney. Beachin Life 1 says, "Aw, bless his heart. You ruined his trust? Are you listening to what he's saying to you? Ask him why he imagines you care what he thinks about working on things. Does he really think that's his decision? It's not. You didn't jump the gun, honey. Follow through." Lake Glen 4287 says, there was no need for you to wait to find out if you were already over. You were already over. There was no marriage. He cheated on you for 10 years, maybe all 14 years. The idea that you and he were in a marriage at all that time, was a lie he told. Your relationship with him was dead, deceased by his infidelity. What is over now is his deceit. That's the only thing that came to an end when you discovered his cheating. He ended your marriage itself long ago. All you did was get the death notice. It's dated 2015. Opie's edit. I'm not looking for validation. He asked me to post because he actually thinks I screwed up. I already feel like I'm not the a-hole, but he wants to see who agrees. I'm trying to show him I'm not the only one who thinks he's in the wrong. Also, I didn't sell my ring immediately. I waited about 2 weeks, during which time I tried talking with him and working things out, which is when he kept being an a-hole. Well, of course, the community agrees Opie is not the a-hole and called the husband for what he was. And now we also understand why Opie had to make this post. So now let's move on with the update to see how this story ends. First off, I want to say thank you so much to everyone who responded. I know this looks like rage bait, but he genuinely wanted me to get other people's opinions. I posted this on Reddit while I was out on my walk to cool down from our fight, so he didn't get to see the post and how it was going to be posted. Well, I got home and read him the post, and yep, turns out I'm still the a-hole. He says I left out a lot of context, so of course anyone on here would disagree with him. I painted him in a negative light and forgot to add that he struggles with sex addiction, compulsive lying, ADHD, etc. I'm sort of in shock. I don't know what to do. I didn't mean to leave out details. Was I just focusing on what he did and how I retaliated? When he went off on me, I thought he slapped me because I feel like I can't do anything right. I asked him before I left if I could just post our fight and he said he didn't care. So I did. Now he's saying I messed up. I didn't think he was abusive before, but now? What the F is happening? I feel sick. He won't even look at the comments. He is pissed. I apologized to him and actually offered him to write his side, and he says no because I messed everything up and it doesn't matter now. I mean, I think people can be reasonable, but the fact that he's refusing to offer it is kind of telling, I think. But I guess since I started it out the way I did, his context wouldn't matter, which is odd now that I think about it because he was so mad that I left stuff out. If that stuff would fix things, then would it matter if he added it later? Final update. Thank you again everyone for your input. It's very much appreciated. I just need to let you know he did not slap me. I'm sorry, I was saying that after he went off on me, I felt so shocked that it felt like he slapped me emotionally. Another thing I forgot to add is that he thinks he would have turned out differently if his mom would have been a better parent to him. At this point, maybe I'm just being petty, but watching him try to add more context to the situation is a little scary because before he just used to say his childhood made him cold and that he had a hard time opening up. He's a dismissive avoidant, which kind of explains his coldness and stonewalling, I guess. But now when he explains his childhood, it's chilling because he will blame his mom for the way he behaves. However, he will say it in a way that feels like it's not his fault for continuing to be crappy. His problems are just the result of bad parenting. OP, just get rid of this loser already. Seriously, his arguments are so ridiculous. Oh, I know that what I do is wrong, but it's not my fault. My mom just didn't raise me well. And that's when accountability left the building. OP, stop indulging him, stop talking to him, just serve him the papers and move on with your life. And for the rest of us, let's move on to a mood booster post to finish the video. This post is from the subreddit Malicious Compliance, and it's by user Wow That's So Cool 2023. You want me to be on time? Okay, down to the minute. The timekeeping system at my job runs on a 15-minute increment schedule. Basically, if you clock in during the first 7 minutes of the increment, it rounds you backward to the start of that segment. If you're in the last 7 minutes, it rounds you forward to the end of the segment. Example, you clock out at 4:52, congrats, the system says you left at 4:45. Now, if you clock in and out multiple times a day, like for lunch, That's 4 punches and potentially up to 28 lost or gained depending on where you land in those increments. Shortly after I started, I began getting flooded with emails about being short a few minutes on my timesheet and was told I had to submit PTO even though I worked full 8-hour days, sometimes more. It didn't matter that I was physically at work. If the system said I was short, I had to burn time off. So I started paying attention, really close attention. Here's the twist. My employer doesn't pay overtime in cash, but they do give you 1.5 times time off if you earn it. So 1 hour of overtime equals 1.5 hours of PTO. With some strategic clocking in and out, always landing on the helpful side of the 15-minute window, I've gotten good at squeezing out those 28 extra minutes a day. That adds up to 140 minutes, 2 hours and 20 minutes of overtime a week, which, when converted at 1.5 times, becomes 3.5 hours of PTO every week, all for doing exactly what they asked, watching the clock very closely. Thanks for the free time off. Well, OP, they told you to comply to the system, and you beat the system. Good for you. Thanks for sharing, OP. And that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch it. Now, if you've gotten to this point in the video, I assume that you like these stories that I'm reading out. So here are a couple more that you might enjoy. And if you don't have any time to watch another story right now, save it for later. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.